heartbreak of steel.
How am I going to feed my kids? Health insurance?
Tonight, the abrupt closure in the Metro East leaving hundreds out of a job.
Slow melt. While more snow isn't in the forecast, more bitter cold is. Another weather impact alert later this week as yet another round of Arctic air moves in.
St. Louis digging out from a major winter storm.
It's not crazy compared to what it was last year.
The promise tonight from city leaders.
Within 24 to 48 hours, we will have the city back open.
What a difference 24 hours makes. Tonight, major improvement on the roads after this weekend's winter wallop. The same cannot be said about the temperatures. Thanks so much for joining us for 5 on your side at 10. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. We won't be getting above freezing for several days. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is already adding another weather impact alert day this week because of the dangerous cold.
At least we don't have the cold and the snow coming. The snow's already here. We don't see opportunities for big snow, but look at this. This is from Robert down near Hillsboro, 20 degrees below zero in his thermometer out on the deck this morning. And he wasn't alone. Rosebud was down to 20. It was 13 degrees below zero. Those aren't wind chills. Those are actual temperatures. We are beginning to see those temperatures moderate, but we still have the cold weather advisory off to the east of St. Louis. The cold is easing as temperatures are moderating overnight, but we still have some wind chills off to the east of St. Louis that are below zero at this hour. Now, tomorrow morning will likely be around 15 out the door, or maybe even a little bit warmer as temperatures keep going up. But then Wednesday morning, we're cold again at 1. So another weather impact alert for Wednesday morning. Thursday morning's not as bad, but here we go. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're thinking as we go into Saturday morning, your temperatures are going to be below zero, and in some cases may very well be quite similar to what we saw this morning. Lambert was down to 5 degrees below zero. So Wednesday morning and then again Friday into Sunday, we will be looking at our weather impact alert once again for those bitter wind chills. 10 to 15 degrees below zero. You'll need the extra layers covering that exposed skin and also protect those pipes. We'll see you in a few minutes. We'll talk about maybe a bit of a break heading into next week.
And we're following breaking news tonight out of the Metro East. About 2 hours ago, crews called off an ice water rescue in Clinton County until morning. They searched a pond in the New Baden area for several hours tonight. Officials tell 5 on your side they're searching for a 20-year-old man who was trying to save his dog from the icy waters. They had 2 boats and 3 divers in the water. We're told their equipment kept failing due to the frigid conditions. Again, the search will resume tomorrow.
Tonight, many highways and major streets are clear of all that snow that fell over the weekend. Officials say the sunshine today helped improve conditions despite the bitter cold. MoDOT is reporting no major problems in more than 24 hours. The St. Louis Streets Department has been working around the clock to clear off the roadways. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski is live in the Weather Impact Storm Tracker with how residents are grading the city's efforts so far. Laura.
Kelly, St. Louis streets are in varying conditions tonight. We are actually behind a group of plows on Sulphur just off of Hampton, and we've been going around all of these streets all day. You have good stretches where you can see the pavement, but a lot of these side streets like the ones we're on right now, it's a different story. Look at all of that snow that's still on the street. Now, the streets director says they aren't going to get you to the pavement, but the residents say still, it's so far much better than last year.
It's the neighborhood game of where's my car? St. Louisans spent Monday night digging their cars out from under roughly 10 inches of snow.
I had a neighbor catch me digging myself out in my mom's car, so she asked me to help her dig out like 2 spots in case somebody take her spot when she leave. It's actually pretty easy though. The snow light and ain't too much ice up under it.
History shows the real challenge after recent winter storms isn't excavating your car from the snowbank, it's actually hitting the road. But this year, residents say they can see a difference.
I do think the city is doing better for the roadway compared to last year. Last year was an absolute nightmare to try to get out of Soulard.
The St. Louis Streets Department says as of Monday afternoon, they had 97 trucks out working on the streets and even deployed additional contractors. Their main focus is primary, secondary, and hill routes, followed by residential streets.
You will see that many of our contract units have already gone into the residentials. And in some instances, they've cleared from curb to curb in spite of the weather not cooperating with us. They're not going to get to bare pavement right now.
Marquise Kemper says he'd still like to see more side streets clear because that's where people are getting stuck.
A lot of those trucks out here that you see, like the smaller trucks just riding around with their shovel up. So necessarily, I'd love to see those just hit the side streets, at least knock some of the slush off for us.
For Jamison Corrigan and Kemper, this progress is at least some evidence of a lesson learned in the city.
Absolutely, they learn one. Yeah, I know Facebook comments will do that to people.
It is a relief because you got a lot of people who call off work all the time or just can't make it anymore because of the conditions outside. So, you know, for somebody like myself, if my car's stuck, I'm gonna have to call a lift or something, so that helps.
Take a look here at Hampton. This is, again, the other side of this story where you can see the pavement. We don't have a whole lot of snow stuck on the streets. And one of the best ways you can alert the streets department about the conditions outside your home is by filing a Citizen Service Bureau report, which you can do on the website or by calling it in to 314-622-4800. Reporting live in the Storm Tracker, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, more than 400 schools have already called into our system to close or start on a delay tomorrow. The full list is running at the bottom of your screen. Text the word closings to 314-425-5355. We'll send a link right to your phone. Well, the brutal cold is leading to burst pipes in homes across the St. Louis region.
And homeowners are being left with a big cleanup and a big repair bill. 5 on your side's Melanie Johnson tagged along with repair crews today to see the damage firsthand.
The family in this North County home waking up to water Monday morning.
You put all your time and energy into your home, and to have this happen to you can be pretty heartbreaking.
Father and husband Tyler Kenny made the emergency call for help as soon as he got out of bed.
When you first woke up and you came downstairs, what did you see?
Just water coming in through the ceiling.
We were told that the pipe burst and that water was actually going from one room to the next, into the ceiling, into the floor.
Michael Duffy and his team at True North Restoration St. Louis respond 24/7 to flooding emergencies.
We expect to see probably about 20 or 30 calls as the pipes start to unthaw.
Each beep from water detectors indicate the impact of Kenny's bursting pipes between the main floor and basement.
Best hope is that it's covered and doesn't set the family back financially.
As the freezing temperatures are to blame for this leak, the homeowner is looking at up to $10,000 in damages. The company tells me he will have to have new paint, new drywall, and new flooring.
A lot of times we get calls when people arrive home from work and then they go in their basement and like, hey, it's water everywhere.
The biggest problem right now is you have to have your temperatures in your house above 55 degrees.
The team called in to minimize the damage, say protect your pipes to protect your wallet.
You might want to run your cold water just a little tiny bit at the furthest point from the house, which allows the water to continuously run and prevents it from freezing.
Keep those cabinets open.
As True North Restoration walks Tyler through the insurance process, he's holding on to hope that better days are ahead for his wife and 2 sons.
Your house is your home. That's where you feel safe. You know, if your house is out of order, then you feel unsafe.
In Florissant, Melanie Johnson, 5 on your side.
And Melanie says to protect your home from winter damage, True North Restoration recommends insulating your pipes and maintaining a thermostat setting of at least 55 degrees. 5 on your side will continue to live stream weather alerts until this deep freeze ends. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download our free app. Tonight, an abrupt end to a local legacy is leaving hundreds of workers scrambling.
After nearly 25 years, Alton Steel is shutting its doors for good this week. Brent Solomon is just back from Alton after speaking with several of those workers, Brent.
Well, just weeks ago, the steel plant was full of life. The company was even looking to bring on new hires. Today, the gates are closing, and for more than 250 workers, their sense of security is now gone in an instant.
Well, I mean, we have our ups and downs, but I mean, that's life.
For more than a decade, Chris Hammock has showed up. He's even weathered layoffs before, but this time there's no coming back.
I've been down there for like 15 years now. and just I don't know where to go.
Living paycheck to paycheck and then losing your job and watching your dad suffer like that, it's hard.
It is a story now shared among hundreds of families in Alton. Alton Steel, a privately held mill, says it can no longer compete with publicly traded giants. About 250 employees now out of work. Company leaders cite aging infrastructure, intense market competition, and industry consolidation that forced their hand. This is an incredibly painful decision for everyone involved, said CEO Chris Irvin. Our employees have shown exceptional dedication and skill for more than 2 decades of production.
How am I going to feed my kids? Health insurance?
Local leaders are demanding answers. State Senator Erica Harris saying in a statement, "I am truly shocked. Just weeks ago, Alton Steel was actively hiring, and there were no indications that these jobs or this facility were at risk. Families built their plans and their futures around this work, and that sense of stability has been pulled out from under them without warning." For this father and son who worked side by side in the mill, the loss is twice as heavy. Greg Spiller watched his son Darius grow up in the plant.
I'm 54 years old. I was looking at another 6 years, and I was done. So now where do I go to start over? I don't know.
While the company says it is working with state agencies for job placement, for those who spent decades at the furnace, a new start feels a long way off. Now, the company says that all of the employee 401k accounts are secure. With operations suddenly ending this week, the immediate concern, though, for those 250 workers remains covering the mortgage or rent and health care and where to turn to find work again.
A record number of Americans facing a credit crunch.
I'm asking Congress to cap credit card interest rates at 10%.
The reason banks say the president's push is going over the limit. The art of a snow day in St. Louis. The tradition and thrills amid the big chill.
The break from the big chill is subtle and doesn't last long. We're tracking the next batch of Arctic air set to arrive just in time for the upcoming weekend.
Know why Missouri highways actually look pretty good on Monday? MoDOT says traffic dropped nearly 80% during the storm because people stayed home. That gave crews room to clear more than 1 million miles and likely helped save lives.
Dramatic video tonight from the St. Louis Fire Department showing firefighters rescuing a dog that fell through a frozen lake. This happened last week in O'Fallon Park. Members of the Marine Rescue Task Force navigated a boat through the icy waters and pulled the dog out of the water. Firefighters say the dog is doing well and is expected to make a full recovery.
Tonight, the banking industry is pushing back on President Donald Trump's call to cap credit card interest rates at 10%, a move he hopes will quell the affordability crisis facing Americans. Right now, the average rate is 20% as households face the most credit card debt on record. Some financial experts say a cut will actually make things worse, taking access to credit away from a majority of consumers.
Banks might really pull back access to credit, especially for consumers with lower credit scores. They do not want to take on the risk.
When consumers lose access to credit, which is anticipated if this rate cut goes in, they often reduce their spending on essentials like healthcare, education, food, and are more likely to fall behind on bills.
Approval. Last year, Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri was part of a bipartisan push for a similar cut, but that stalled in Congress. You could get a bigger tax refund from Uncle Sam this year. The Treasury Department estimates refunds could average $1,000 or more per household. The reason? Many filers didn't adjust their withholdings when new tax breaks took effect. Well, we're counting down to the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. The opening ceremony now just 11 days away. The first events will get underway a week from Wednesday. Tonight, the Olympic torch relay reached one of the 2 host cities, Cortina d'Ampezzo.
It arrived on the 70th anniversary of the opening ceremony of 1956 Winter Games held in the small ski resort town of 5,000 people. Cortina will host skiing, bobsled, luge, and curling events, and will also host a dual opening ceremony and second Olympic cauldron. Hours ago, the full roster for Team USA was announced. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee says it's the largest squad since the 2018 Games. There are 232 team members, 98 are returning Olympians, 33 are Olympic medalists, including 22 gold.
4 local Olympians are headed to Milan to compete for Team USA. Brothers Brady and Matthew Tkachuk, along with Clayton Keller, will play for the U.S. men's hockey team. And St. Louis native Joy Dunn is on the women's hockey team. 5 on Your Side is your home for all the action at the Winter Olympics. Our Corey Miller is flying to Italy on Friday. You can look for his live reports from the games starting next week.
The bitter cold didn't stop some from taking part in a St. Louis snow day tradition. Dozens grabbed their sleds and snowboards to take a ride down Art Hill. Photojournalist Andy Broadway shows the winter fun being had at Forest Park.
We're St. Louis Kayaking Club. We're out here. We're sledding some kayaks, you know, as long as there's snow on the ground, we got 4-wheel drive. Got a few boats, aren't really meant for this, but come on, they've been on worse. Come on. Yeah, we're a kayaking club. We do white water. It's still white and it's water, so I guess it counts.
That was really fun.
You gotta get a good fast start, and then basically just almost like Superman down. You go pretty fast. It feels like you're basically when you stick your head out of the window in a car. Oh God! It's terrifying.
It's a really fast start and just hit all the jumps you can. It's awesome. It's like you're just diving through the snow. It's really cool. It's just cold hitting your face, just lots of snow just everywhere. Oh my God.
It feels cold, but I'm really used to the cold. You want to have your sled right by your stomach and then run and then dive on it. It's really scary. If you lay on your belly, it goes faster.
It's really scary, but she wants to go faster.
I know, they're so cute.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with our weather impact forecast. And it's actually going to get a little warmer in the next couple of days, and then it's going to go right back down.
Yeah, I think, there's a small chance the next couple of days, some of us might get to, or maybe even a little bit above freezing, but I don't think most of us in the metro are going to make it. We're at 29 tomorrow. We're actually warmer getting out the door early tomorrow morning as temperatures are beginning to rise overnight. But on Wednesday morning, we're back down close to 0. Thursday morning's not as bad, but by Thursday night into Friday, you see where we've shaded it red. That's where we're talking about those morning lows close to 0 and probably some wind chills in there. What you don't have on the next 7 days is a whole lot of precip. But boy, the Arctic air is getting reloaded up here in Canada, and it's going to be dropping straight out of the pole, out of the North Pole, down across Hudson Bay, and then right into the bi-state region here as we go into Friday and Saturday. This is also a pattern that usually kicks up some sort of coastal storm along the East Coast, but it may be farther out to sea. We don't know about that, but it's not a big impact for us in terms of any snow. It's just the cold. But since we already have snow on the ground, that tends to be even colder. All right, next week, we're getting closer to average temperatures. This is still not a warm pattern going into Groundhog Day, but as I mentioned to Kelly a few minutes ago, I kind of feel like Bill Murray at this point. We're over and over here reliving this cold. Wednesday morning's another weather impact alert day. Friday into Sunday, every morning likely to have wind chills in that 10 to 15 degree range if there is any breeze at all. So you're going to need the extra layers for many more days. Roads are getting a little bit better across the region, especially the main roads. Secondary roads, while there's still snow cover, you can still maneuver. You just have to use caution and give yourself some extra time. We're back up to 16 degrees right now. It's a good thing. The temperature trend has continued to go up. As we go through the next few days, while we kind of flirt with the coldest of air staying to our north on Wednesday night into Thursday, it really starts driving back down and those temperatures go down. We get some clouds. We might have a couple of snow flurries, but by Saturday morning, it could very well be much like what we saw this morning with wind chills running 10 to 20 degrees or colder below 0 and high temperatures struggling to get back into the teens here. So mid-teens Thursday, Friday, Saturday, very cold morning low temperatures. That's why we have the weather impact alert for that cold. Again, protecting your pipes and making sure you have the proper gear on as you head out the door. and giving yourself some extra time with the slick spots still remaining, in some cases even on your sidewalk or your driveway.
All right, Scott, thanks.
Here's Frank with sports.
Kelly, we have two really good basketball teams in the area. How good, we will explain. The Blues can't get out of a funk, but Sam Darnold certainly did. Stick around, please.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is now available in Missouri.
The basketball Billikens have become the story in St. Louis sports, and we've been telling you that for months. It's okay. There's room on the bandwagon for all of us. Just not tickets for Friday's game against Dayton. That is a sellout. Tomorrow, there are tickets available for the George Washington game at 7 o'clock at Shavitz. They have just roared out of the gates. They are 19-1 on the season, and at St. Bonaventure on Friday, they led by 27 points after 12 minutes. They are now ranked 21st in the AP Top 25. They're ranked higher than Rick Pitino at St. John's and the University of Kentucky. And the most important ranking, the one that NCAA uses to select the tournament, SLU is 19th. A lot of basketball left, but all signs point to the NCAA tournament. Overconfidence won't be an issue.
We're in first place on January, whatever it is, 26th, but there's a long way to go. And we got to keep getting better. And other teams are going to be getting better. And if we were behind, we got to keep getting better to catch whoever's ahead of us. So the whole point is just keep improving, keep growing, keep striving, and learning from every experience. And that's just been the whole base of everything going back to my time at LMU.
It's Keaton Wagler's time at Illinois. His 46-point masterpiece against previously fourth-ranked Purdue was one of the performances and wins of the season. So Illinois has moved up to 9th in the polls, and more importantly, they're 6th in the net rankings. Illinois has won 9 in a row. They are 17-3 with a killer schedule. Who knows, maybe they could end up with a 1 or 2 seed. The Seattle Seahawks were not predicted to be a 1 or 2 seed in their own division, and yet they've made it to Super Bowl 60. Just imagine how the Minnesota Vikings must feel right now. Sam Darnold led them to 14 wins last year, and yet after the season they said adios, and they went with J.J. McCarthy instead. He threw for 11 touchdowns and 12 picks. Darnold threw for 25 touchdowns and saved his best game for the NFC Championship. But they almost didn't get to the Super Bowl. Leading by 11 late, Reek Woolen took a foolish penalty for jawing at the Rams bench. They came back and scored on the next play to narrow the gap. But after that, Seattle held the line and stopped the Rams twice before time ran out. Head coach Mike McDonald had this answer for Fox's Michael Strahan.
Now, coming into the season, you were an afterthought to the Rams, to the 49ers. How did it feel to go through both of those teams to earn your trip to the Super Bowl?
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The Blues are in a tough spot. St. Louis has lost 4 in a row and now had the second fewest points in the entire NHL, tied alongside Winnipeg. The month of January has been really unpleasant for hockey fans, but Jim Montgomery is still seeing some bright spots in the organization. He thinks the second line with Jordan Kyrou and Pavel Buchnevich is continuing to make an impact.
I think Bucci's been incredible at center. I think his draws have been fantastic. He's been able to use his vision a lot more to create time and space, and good entries and good forechecks. And I think Ruzi's just been really skating. This is the longest stretch of Ruzi here. I think it's 7 or 8 games where I would say he's had one average game and the other ones are him skating, putting people on their heels. That's the Ruzi that, St. Louis Blues fans and us coaches and teammates love to see.
So he's a very optimistic guy, but it's been rough.
Yeah, but he's optimistic. So, I mean, is there really anything to be optimistic about? Those guys may be playing better, but they're not winning.
No, they're not. And I think the trade deadline is going to be a little bit like the Cardinals situation. What happens? Do they make it a total rebuild, or do they try to get some.
So those guys he was just talking about,
Everybody's basically, except the really young players, could be traded at the trade deadline for the Blues.
all right, Frank, thanks.
A bird and a patriot are about to take the Super Bowl by storm, and we're not talking about Seattle and New England.
Well, Super Bowl 60 is set. The New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks will meet in the big game on February 8th. It's a game you can see right here on 5 on Your Side.
Of course, there's also the commercials, but tonight, Budweiser is unveiling its patriotic ad. An iconic Clydesdale and an eaglet who grows into an American icon while the Leonard Skinner song Freebird plays. The ad plays homage to America's 250th birthday and marks 150 years since the first Budweiser was brewed right here in St. Louis. You can watch the full commercial right now on KSDK.com.
And Scott has one final check of the cold weather.
Yes, it is cold, but it won't be as bad getting out the door tomorrow morning. And we're close to 30, so with some sunshine tomorrow, we should continue some melting across the area. Most of the snow, though, sticking around for the rest of the week. More weather impact alerts because of the bitter cold.
And there you have it, 5 on Your Side at 10. A reminder, we're always streaming on your phone and smart TV.
Have a great tomorrow.